I believe everyone is here. Are we all decent? Oh, I didn't mean that in a funny way. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'd say, are we good to go, Matthew?
We are good to go and we're live.
Awesome. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another BIA meeting. It is April the 13th, 2021, lockdown number 3 or 4, depending on how you want to look at it. I would like to call this meeting to order this evening. We'll go right to number 2, approval of tonight's agenda. If we get a motion to approve this evening's agenda.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion made by Karen, seconded by Belinda. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Number 3, declarations of interest. Do we have any this evening? Seeing none, move on to number 4, delegations and presentations. We made a little mistake with the agenda tonight, so we were going to have one, but we're going to do it in the agenda items. Sorry, Justin. It's a mistake on our part. So we'll do that in the agenda items. 5, minutes from the previous meeting. I believe everyone has gotten them. If you've had a chance to read them, great. If we can get a motion to approve the previous minutes.
Motion.
Who was that, Belinda?
Yeah,
Linda.
Belinda. Sorry.
That's right. Motion made by Belinda, second by
Tracy.
All in favor? Motion carried.
Aye.
I
6, right into the agenda items. We kind of, previous meeting, we went through our priorities, what we were going to deal with. So I kind of went with the whole, let's just throw everything on there and see what comes out of it. Heck, why not? So 6.1, we can have a discussion in regards to some promotion items. Anyone had a chance to have some thoughts on this? If you got ideas, go ahead and throw them out. Nobody has ideas.
well, what my question on this was, what do we want to focus on?
Good question. Matthew, I saw your hand up.
So the Prescott transit bus from Brockville to Cardinal should be starting sometime in the next 2 months. So
Cool.
it might be something that you'd want to consider from a promotional idea to, we're thinking of transit dollars. And if you wanted to put some money behind that, that anybody that comes by bus to your store, that you'd be able to give them $5 in transit dollars. So something that you could do from that perspective, that's certainly a great way to start that. Also, where the main focus of the bus and where we're getting our funding from is getting people to and from work as a commuter bus. So we'd really like to have the BIA, focus on that and be able to identify where we can, encourage that type of engagement and be able to work along those lines as well with the town. So just around that whole commuter and bus initiative that we're working on, I think would be great if the BIA was to partner with us on that.
So Matthew, I have a couple questions. Like, has it been determined in terms of like how often this bus is going to be running? What are the parameters of the bus running? Where are the bus stops going to be?
So we're working through that with our partners in Edwardsburg, Cardinal, Augusta, and Brockville.
Okay.
So in terms of the bus stops, we definitely see at least 1 or 2 in the downtown area. So perhaps a logical one would be kind of on the west end near the Walker House. So kind of, it's a great parking lot right there, as well as right downtown at the Clock Tower parking lot would be another stop. So those are 2 things that we're thinking of, and then being able to also make a loop uptown and and that way kind of gets the vast majority of our population. So those are some of the things that we're thinking of. Our intention is to run it 5 days a week from Monday to Friday and for 12 hours a day. So those exact parameters are kind of what we're working around and with, but we haven't made any final decisions, and we will be making those in the next month or so.
So do you think it's going to be like once an hour or once every 2 hours?
So sorry, so the concept is it will take an hour to get from Brockville to Cardinal. So we would see it arriving in Prescott sometime on the half hour, and then it will take 1 hour to get back from Cardinal to Brockville. So again, it will be here on probably around the half hour. Is just my initial thinking. Don't quote me on that. But so that's kind of the concept, is that if you're going east, it'll be on 1 half hour. If you're going west, then it will be on the other half hour, and then it will just continue that throughout the day.
And what kind of bus vehicles are being considered?
It's a City of Brockville bus. They are replacing theirs, and so we're using their older buses to be able to run this program. It's a great way to start the program off without having to make a huge capital investment, and that's what really makes this possible.
And what are the marketing opportunities? Just with, like with all the different divisions, I would think everyone kind of wants some marketing opportunities on these buses, or has that been discussed?
In terms of what's actually on the buses, I don't think we've formulated that completely yet, but certainly something that that we can talk about as part of that.
That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah. It's a great idea.
Yeah, the light bulb went off in my head as soon as you said, I'm like, ooh, signage.
Yeah.
So Matthew, transit bucks, how would you see a business, regardless of who it is, giving these out? Like, I mean, I'm assuming you're going to have a key group of riders who would probably be somewhat regular, but I mean, is this something that we would just hand out to randomly, or is it something that, I mean, would you market this towards the people who really want to use it?
So my initial thoughts, and again, we haven't really sat down and talked this through completely, but my initial thought is that you would probably have some type of token to say that you came on the bus. And so if you arrived on the bus from outside of Prescott, then you show your token, and then very similar to the Prescott dollars, that that qualifies you for $5 for coming to here in Prescott. And the transit dollars, we haven't really flushed that out with our partners in the other municipalities, whether it would be just strictly in Prescott or across the 4 municipalities. So those are still things that we need to figure out. But definitely, it's that if we're coming to your business and helping to support that coming up from outside of Prescott, then I think that's a great way to help promote that concept.
What will the fee be to utilize the bus?
Right now, we're looking at a $5 fee, and going from there.
Is that one way or round?
That'd be one way.
Okay.
It's not bad though.
No.
And where can you purchase these tickets? Like, has that been discussed yet? Like, do you have to pay for it on the bus itself, or can you, or are we looking at a distribution system that's going to like bring in other businesses? So you have to actually go into a business to purchase these tickets or these tokens to get on the bus?
So those are great questions. We haven't figured all of those out yet, and so we have a planning meeting in the next week or so with Brockville, because they have kind of this set up because they already have the system, and then be able to determine how we're able to roll that out across the municipalities.
That's amazing. This is so exciting.
It is really exciting.
So as far as or some sort of partnership with us, Matthew, what do you see as far as that goes?
I think certainly if you wanted to consider, helping support the transit dollars for downtown BIA businesses, that'd be fantastic. If there's, the marketing opportunity, I think, if you're talking inside the bus and that sort of thing, I hadn't really honestly thought of that. And to be honest, I haven't ridden the bus in quite a while. So it'll be a learning process there. And
Inside
then-
and outside. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know if they
So,
have stuff on the outside. They used to years ago, but I don't know if they still do. I don't look at their buses very often anymore.
And then really also just helping to get the word out. Once so we want to really start about 4 weeks before we have the official kickoff, that we get notices out there. People are talking about it. This is going to be then we'll have promotional materials. And so just making sure that we get that out to all of our BIA businesses, as well as our businesses across Prescott. Because I think, really our downtown is ripe for being able to make 1 or 2 stops and capturing the vast majority of it. And so I think it really is a nice way to partner.
So that was my next question in terms of what is the start date on this? Because we should really be able to have like an amazing launch. And I think this is something the chamber should be involved in as well, just because, like it incorporates so many things within our area. So what's the launch date?
We're still working with that with the funder. Obviously, with COVID, we're very cognizant of that. And so that's where we're not looking anytime before mid-May. So we still have several weeks before we get there, and being able to really be flexible in terms of when those restrictions start to get lifted.
Okay, and has it started to be branded in terms of what the logos and that kind of thing are going to look like?
Nope, we are just starting that work now.
Okay. No, I agree. I think there's an amazing opportunity here to start like promoting that. Like when I first moved to the community, that was the first thing, like as I'm wandering along the streets, I'm like, where's the bus? And everyone's like, nay, you silly girl from Toronto. There's no bus here. So I think this is an amazing initiative. And I think we really have an opportunity here to take things to a next level and promote a lot of really cool things. So excited.
And then we really want to stress that commuter experience and being able to get people back and forth to work. So that's a major focus of the funder, as well as kind of making this possible. So.
All right. So first off, then probably to throw support behind the transit bucks, I guess. So that would require some finances from us. Do you have something in mind? I don't know where you're thinking on that one. We can go all over the place with that. So.
Yeah, I would say just thinking about, do you like the idea? Yes or no? And then from there, we could probably talk in the $500 to $1,000 range. And then as we solidify our plans, then you can make that formal approval.
It kind of sounds like everybody likes the idea.
Yeah, definitely.
Love it. Love it.
Alrighty. Like as Belinda mentioned, marketing stuff, is that something we want to like visit later once things kind of get going, like kind of give you guys the opportunity to get it going first before or is that something you want to discuss, Matthew, with the other groups you're dealing with?
So I think if you like the idea, then we're going to kind of add you to the list of the people that want to participate as a partner. And then as we kind of solidify our plans with our partners, then we can come back to you and then have another meeting to say, here's what the opportunities are.
Okay. Would we require a motion for anything right now, or just that just state that we have the interest and we'll deal with the details when?
Stating that you have interest and that's something that you want to explore further would be fantastic. So how about we throw we'll throw a quick motion out there just so that way it's in writing. Who wants to come up with some good, decent wording for that one? Oh, Belinda's got it. Belinda's all over it.
How do we position it? That the BIA is completely in support of a commuter experience between, where is it, Brockville to Cardinal?
That's correct.
And we want to support this in terms of a commuter experience and ensure that the individuals that live in our communities have the ability to travel to work in a public transport situation. That's just off the top of my head.
That's a very well detailed motion. Did you get all that, Karen?
Not all of it. No, I'm trying to fill it in here.
All right, so I think that's a fairly sound motion. It states our interest. Anybody care to second Belinda's motion?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Karen. Anything else on that specific topic for now? All righty, all in favor?
Aye.
This is so cool. I'm so excited about this.
Oh, that's a good one. Thanks, Matthew. That's any other promotional thoughts?
Oh, well, like seriously, once we know where the stops are going to be, there's promotional areas there. There's promotional in the bus, outside of the bus. Like the promotional potential is unlimited, that businesses can look at different things in terms of what they want to do, what they want to promote. We have the opportunity to promote the fact that you just don't have to be here. You don't have a vehicle. You don't have to have a vehicle anymore. We are literally an area that is working together and promoting our economy. I think it's phenomenal. Like there's so many economical potentials and so many areas where we can do a positive branding and marketing. It's so exciting.
Yeah, I agree. And that's obviously the details we'll come back to once they get off the ground and see what happens. Because yeah, as a business owner, I'm already in for signage or something. So yeah.
Same here for quality.
Alrighty. So that topic, that's a good one. Any other separate topics from the bus, from the transit idea? Justin, can I pick on you for a minute?
Go for it.
When you were in the shop the other day, you mentioned something, and I actually thought it was a great idea. Something about some sort of promotion to get businesses back when things kind of open up, but having some sort of promo around that.
I believe you're referring to those artistic renderings of the businesses, the one I showed.
Yeah,
of-
you know, the ones you put all the work into.
Yeah, so we did some artistic renderings using Canva. I don't want to overestimate the work that was involved, but they do come out really nicely. They look like paintings, and we were considering the idea of using that as a sort of reopening of the downtown promotion as we got closer to that, to highlight the businesses.
Has there been any discussion amongst town about what we would what we would call reopening?
I haven't.
So I don't, yeah, I think for us, it really comes down to the cases and what we follow from the health unit. So
Yeah.
I think that's where we're kind of looking. We don't know what that's going to look like over the next 2 or 3 months, but we want to have something that really, and the canvas stuff looked absolutely fantastic and really, great idea. And then, do we also do a Prescott dollars promotion behind that? There's a couple things that we could do there from a reopening perspective.
So you're kind of like, the train of thought about reopening is kind of if once we kind of, not like 3 weeks from now, because I wouldn't necessarily call that a reopening per se, but kind of when the world actually decides to get normal again.
Normal-ish, yes.
Normalish. I like that.
Yeah, no, I would agree. So I mean, that's obviously a topic we can come back to at a later time and date, but it's I know it's a good idea. Just whoa.
Oh, excuse me for a moment. Excuse me.
Doesn't like that. Any other thoughts or ideas around promotions? Because I know we got the Prescott dollars are always out there, something we can work with, but it's a hard thing to predict right now with businesses not being open. So. That's the bus thing is a good start. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If nobody has anything else for now, these are kind of things we'll probably keep revisiting from here on in, because throughout the year, once we can solidify a year, because it's been a while, you can kind of get some things going with promos year-round stuff, and it's so hard to base anything right now. Because like we've done a few things in the past, I know with ACTEV, Christmas stuff and whatnot, but if there's no other suggestions on that one for now, we can move on to 6.2. Does that work for everybody?
Okay.
All righty. Next is a discussion around some beautification ideas. Matthew, do you want to speak to that before we go into anything else?
Sure, that'd be great. So as you know, the benches will be, we're just kind of finishing our street cleaning work over the next couple of weeks. And then the benches we're hoping to be out before the end of April. So benches, the new garbage cans, and the attaching the smoke butt receptacles. And then there's also new physical lockups. So those will be coming out in stages over the next few weeks. The other one, I know we talked about previously, and taking a look at the traffic poles downtown, and they're not the prettiest bunch of poles, and so is there something that we could do there? And so last either in 2019 or very early in 2020, I went to a municipal conference, and there was a vendor there that does pole wraps, and so they do customized pole wraps. They're anti-graffiti and anti-sticks, so and they're very prevalent in BIAs in Toronto, and that's actually kind of where they started their work. So I wanted to kind of show you this evening what the possibilities are, and see if you're interested in perhaps sharing the cost with the town to develop something that is going to look new and refreshed for the downtown. So I'm just going to share my screen, and then we'll walk through some of those. All right. So hopefully everyone can see my screen at this moment, and I'm just going to. All right, everyone able to see that?
Yep.
Yep.
So you can see here, it's a pole wrap, and you can, they have a graphic designer that they work with, and we'll come up with some options for you based on what your desires are. You can see that this one in particular is the Indian Bazaar, and I believe that's in part in Toronto there. And so one of the things they did is they also developed one design but changed the colors, so it really made a nice change in how it looks. So you can kind of see this is what they started out is trying to find a solution for that type of issue. And poles in and of themselves are kind of grayish color usually, and not all that pretty looking, and then they kind of get stuck with stuff and that sort of thing. So the particular one that I'm talking about is this. This is just a small applique that they use as a sample, but they're both in Canada and US, and as I mentioned, they're in over 20 BIAs in Toronto, which has been kind of their core of what they've been doing. So it is patented both in Canada and the US, the product that we're talking about. And how it kind of first came to being is one of the BIAs in Toronto was very interested in it, started putting on some polls, and the City of Toronto said, wait a second, we need to have a little bit more information about this. So it has been vetted by the City of Toronto as well as Toronto Hydro, and they talk about exactly, it's able to handle up to 80 degrees and minus 60 degrees Celsius. So, and then it repels water, sleet, snow, that sort of thing. So here's another example. It's on a square pole, and it was done for Liberty Village. And so you can do poles, you can do garbage bins, you can do telecom boxes, postal boxes. You can do, they come in about 4.5-foot sections. So if you want to do 9 feet up a pole, or if you want to raise it a little bit from the bottom, it's really in how you want to do it. Easy to clean. It has its own cleaner and that sort of thing. Here's some great examples of ones that they've done. And as you can see, that one that was at the beginning for the Indian Bazaar, here it is in blue. And so again, they just changed the color, a little bit of the floral work in the background there, and it looks like something almost completely different. So when we started thinking about this, we thought Riverwalk District, we thought downtown BIA, we thought town of Prescott are all things that we could use. And these would actually go on the traffic poles as opposed to the light standards or anything like that. And I think what we'd want to focus on is King and Edward, King and Center, and King and George. And so those were kind of what we were thinking along those lines. And here's where they've done some electrical boxes, things like that. And I think that we do have a couple of electrical boxes and traffic pole boxes down there that we could wrap in an interesting look as well. And again, we're just adding color, adding something distinctive, and certainly not something that you've seen in this area, because they've done most of their work down in Southern Ontario. Installations, about 30 minutes a pole, and they have a nice little how-to video. I think I might be able to follow it, so we'll see how that goes. And it's pretty much as simple as what you're seeing there, is that it comes in a large sheet, and then you start wrapping it around the pole. So it's about $184 for each 4.5-foot section. And so if you're to do 9 feet per pole, then we'd be looking about $400, and that includes freight, the cost of the wrap, everything like that. And so we have, I believe, 12 poles. That'd be $4,800. And if my math is correct, then if we want to partner, that would be $2,400 each. And so we see this as being very unique product. We would still paint the rest of the pole, so it rejuvenates those. But this was a great way to add a nice marketing, a pattern, kind of a look that's going to be unique. And they last in the neighborhood of 10 to 15 years is kind of their life cycle. So they also have another thing called Bella Paint, which isn't necessarily what we'd be looking for, because it's just kind of a straight paint and that sort of thing. But this is certainly an option that we have there. So I'm just going to escape from that for a second. Here's some other options. You can kind of see how they did both a telephone pole or a traffic pole, as well as the electrical box in the background. There's again, by just changing the color, it almost completely changes the look of that in India Bazaar. So things like that, you can go with that sort of thing. So really some interesting opportunities to be able to provide that color. So wanted to bring it, see what you thought, and then you can also see kind of how they did this area as well, and go from there.
So Matthew, does the 4,800 include the cost of the design?
So cost of design is about $500, and I'm sure the town can cover that. So we can do it in-house, or we could do it through them. I think if they do it, then we have a little bit of confidence that they know what their colors are going to end up looking like on their product and things like that. So yeah, I think we're comfortable with that.
Okay, and if we make decisions to change the colorations, like that the examples that you showed us, is that included in the $500, or do they actually charge us more to make those modifications?
No, they're able to come up with a design, and then if it's just a matter of changing colors or changing words, then they don't charge more for that.
Okay.
I think they look really sharp. I
They
think it would
really
be-
do look
I
sexy.
think it would be really
they look
different.
so sexy.
Yeah.
So it's certainly something that you can think about, and then it takes about 3 to 4 weeks from the time that the design is finalized to the time that it arrives.
Do you have a timetable on painting them?
Not really. It will be kind of some of our spring and early summer work, and so it's a little bit complicated because we have electrical wires on there, so we just need to be careful from that perspective. But I think that's the first step, and then the second step is seeing if we want to move forward with the wraps.
Okay. Do the poles need to be painted first?
Yes.
Okay.
So Matthew, has there been any discussion in terms with council in terms of what we want to be on these items? You know, because if they're there for 10 to 15 years, what is the message that we want to put on these things?
No, actually, we're coming to the BIA first, and then we were going to have the discussion at council and just get feedback from them as well.
Okay.
I think we were proposing a combination of the Riverwalk District logo with the Prescott Shop Local graphic, and we would alternate. That's what we were thinking initially.
I think that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is it possible to have like maybe in a design above and below it says Riverwalk, we have lighthouses on the upper lower area?
Yeah,
maybe
I think that's a nice
something
way to bring in that motif if
and something to represent our Fort Wellington, the soldiers, and things like that. Just kind of throwing out ideas. The colorations are beautiful, but we're kind of known for our little lighthouse and our fort to go around Riverwalk and whatnot.
What I would suggest is if you take the actual streetscape that's part of the Shop Local graphic, it's actually a really good representation of Prescott. It's got Prescott's streetscape. It shows Fort Wellington. There's a lighthouse. It depicts the harbor. And we could almost do that as the base for each of the poles, and then either do Shop Local or the Riverwalk on the upper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we can come up with some good visuals. I know it's hard just talking about it, but what we would propose is we'll come up with some good mock-ups for the group to kind of take a look at and help generate some more discussion.
I love the idea.
Yeah, I
it would
do too.
be
I do too. And then we can take those
Really
mock-ups
sharp.
and kind of like tie that into potentially the buses. Just a
Mhm.
thought.
So you can just wrap the bus.
I like
Yeah.
the consistency.
Really just wrap all the buses with Prescott. Yay.
with Prescott. Yeah.
I like the idea. Some design ideas would definitely be helpful. I was kind of, when you mentioned the intersections, I was kind of wondering, like if you're going to use the Riverwalk district emblem, is there any advantage to having the two poles at St. Lawrence Street done? Because that is kind of the beginning of the area, give or take, right? I don't think you got anything on the east end that works as well as those two do, but yeah.
Okay, we can
Just
absolutely
a
take a look at
thought. I know that adds to the cost, but
it. No, more than happy to see how that would fit in.
okay. So do we want to, do you need us to agree to anything right now, or do you just want us to say, yes, we're interested and get back to us with designs?
Yeah, I think if you were to pass something that said we're quite interested in this, we'd like to review the designs, and we'd be willing to provide up to X amount, to help support it, that'd be fantastic. But it's completely up to the committee.
Yeah. Thoughts, everybody? I think everybody kind of agrees.
Agreed.
Tracy wanted to
Agreed.
say something.
Where's Tracy? Hi, Tracy.
Hi. Just sat.
You just shut yourself off.
Oh, no, you just muted yourself.
Okay, hi, sorry. No, the only thing I was thinking that we should be aware of moving forward is we've always promoted consistency. So, with everything that we've undertaken. So just to keep that in mind, that we keep that branding consistency going.
Mhm.
So
Good point.
You're referring to the Riverwalk brand, yes, Tracy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at bus ads and pole wraps, try and, yeah.
Yep.
Keep them consistent. Yeah.
Agreed.
Good idea.
You're speaking my language.
All right. No, that's definitely a great statement, Tracy. Definitely. All right. So it seems like we're interested. Anybody care to make a motion? Tracy?
That the BIA is interested in participating in the pole wraps, is that what we'll say, the pole wraps? And splitting with the town, assuming that it's, what did you say, Matthew, 4,800?
If we had 2 more polls, then I believe it would be about 58 or 56, somewhere in there. But if you wanted to say up to $2,500, that'd be fine.
For some strange reason, we can't hear you, Tracy.
And that the BIA is prepared to contribute $2,500 towards the project.
Did we get that?
Yeah. Got it.
Anybody care to
I'll second. I'll second.
Belinda will second that. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All in favor? Motion is carried. That'll be cool.
That would be really cool.
So cool.
Did you have anything else, Matthew, on that topic?
I don't think so. I think I covered most of it in the email, and then I just wanted to walk through the pole wraps. And so no, I think I'm good. I did want to make a point, working on a focus on the downtown garbage, weeds, and just general upkeep. And so we're working towards that, and hope to have that back in just a short while.
Alrighty. And just curiosity, did everybody see Matthew's email? He had the pictures
Yeah.
of the flowers. as
Yes.
well.
Yeah, they're nice.
I saw.
They
Yeah.
look beautiful.
Yeah, very nice.
All right, just good to know. Awesome. That's a whole big topic right there. Any other thoughts on that one for now? I like
No,
that.
I think with the flowers, the pole wraps, the new benches, the receptacles, I think it's going to look really sharp.
And the new planters.
The new planters, yeah.
Oh yeah, where are we at with that?
So we're just mocking. We've ordered the material. We're mocking one up, and it's a little bit slower with COVID, unfortunately, with the ordering. But yeah, I think we should be in pretty good shape for that. Probably. So we bring in the when we're installing the new furniture, have them completed, and then out towards the end of May. So.
All right. Tracy, do you have a question?
I was just gonna question, how does everyone feel about window cleaning in the empty storefronts? If we want to.
I heard this topic come up.
Oh, interesting.
I know we did send out a letter. I think that was that topic in that letter? Now I don't remember. Matthew or Dana, I can't remember now. Asking if anybody was interested in that for vacant stores.
It was one of the examples provided, I believe. Yeah, Kevin.
Yeah. Did anybody even jump on it?
We didn't get any uptake here at the town. I can tell you that we are looking at a new property standards bylaw.
Yeah.
which
Mhm.
may help address some of those issues, because I just know there has been conversations in the past, is this an area the BIA should really be delving into when it comes to addressing private properties, because there are potential liability issues that can arise with
Mhm.
that. If God forbid someone's window got broken, who's going to be responsible for that?
Yeah, exactly.
Just, playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, yeah, true.
It just would be such a nice finishing touch. You know what I mean? To see nice clean windows throughout the downtown, but I understand that too.
I think it's really a pride in place thing too. I know it's easy for us to sit here and say property owners should be taking responsibility for it, but I guess that's where I'm going, is maybe the property standards bylaw can really help address that moving forward. What should be common sense, unfortunately, isn't always.
So one thing that we could do is see if we can find somebody that would offer the service. And then anybody that wants to send out a letter and say, here it is, here's the amount, sign up with this individual and go from there. So that way you can lead them to water and go from there. By the way, I have to stop saying go from there because my wife pointed out that I say it a lot. So
I think maybe the issue was it was almost too vague, that first correspondence that we sent out. Maybe if you kept it very specific this time and just offered window washing. This is one of the first projects that we're looking at pursuing. Maybe you'd get a little bit more uptake that way.
And you're saying this will be at the building owner's cost? Not
Yeah,
ours?
but then everyone could buy
Mhm.
into it, right? So they'd be getting it at a much discounted rate than if each property owner had to do it on their own. It's something the BIA could take the lead on and everyone could just kind of buy into it.
That might not be a bad idea.
There is
So-
a couple of people that go around doing windows for businesses. I can't remember the fee they asked us last year. And with everything going on, we could not afford to hire them on a regular basis. I'm just wondering if maybe we should talk to them first to see about contracting downtown at a mass amount. Could they lower their prices? And select certain days and start on one side of the street, go all the way down, come back up.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what we were envisioning or hoping would happen when we'd sent that initial correspondence out. But I think maybe if we kind of took another stab at it and were very specific and actually, like you say, Jeannie, select the company for them and deal with all of that, you might
Okay.
get the uptake.
Okay, cool. Because there is a local man and wife or woman and man that go around and do it right now. And I forget the fee they were charging. Like I said, it was a year ago when they approached us and we just did not have the money available in our funds.
So we could put a call out for proposals and get, a few quotes to vet and then bring back to the BIA for consideration would be my suggestion if there is interest.
Mhm.
Okay.
So do we want to have a letter drafted first though and have that sent out, see about interest specific to that topic of having the windows cleaned, and then we'll go from there. 'Cause if nobody responds, what do you do? Like, I mean, at that point you're kind of stuck at that point if nobody responds to it. But
Would it be better to have the quotes and send out the letter at that time and saying, this is the quotes? That way the businesses will know, okay, this is what I'm looking at. They might be in a better position to say yes or no.
One word of caution there, it would be hard until we have an idea of how many businesses are interested to be able to provide accurate pricing, right?
Exactly. The
It's almost
pricing
a
is going to
catch-22,
depend.
right?
Yeah.
It
the pricing
is,
You might want to
yeah.
gauge the interest first. If we feel like, you could set a threshold, maybe if, you get interest from at least 5 businesses, at that point, we could go out and get some quotes and come back to them with some more specific numbers.
all right.
Yeah.
That's probably the best thing. Just see what the interest is first, then go from there. That would make sense to me. So Tracy, do you want to throw a motion at that? Is that someplace you want to go? Can't hear you.
I'm just not sure what we would say for a motion. Or do we just want to, get a letter sent out again? I'm not sure.
I could just
Well-
make a suggestion. Maybe the BIA could direct our new business development officer to gauge the interest of the downtown business community and us providing a window washing service on their
I
behalf.
was just going to ask if we can boss him around now. But that's probably the best way to go, Tracy. We'll go if you want to do that. Do you want to tell Justin what to do?
So it could be as simple as, working with Justin on gauging that feedback and then creating a program out of it based on that feedback.
Does that make more sense, Tracy? All right, who would care to come up with the whole motion? Come on, Tracy.
I guess just make a motion to ask Justin, our business development officer. Is that what's your title, Justin? Sorry.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. To ask the business development officer to gauge the interest of the downtown businesses in engaging in a window washing program.
That sounds to the point.
I'll second that.
All right, motion is made by Tracy. It has been seconded by Belinda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried.
Thanks, Justin.
Thanks, Justin.
Justin.
It's only going to get worse. Thank you. No, I'm just kidding. That was definitely a good suggestion, Tracy. Any other thoughts on this topic before we move on? Oh, Tracy.
No. I was just going to say, I'm looking at different windows downtown, and what Ben just did in his window looks so great. Like that banner that comes down and then the little string of lights. Has everybody seen that?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, and because I was just thinking about that whole banner idea, if that wouldn't be somewhere in the future, something else that we could kind of look into too, to see if there was interest in perhaps from the property owners that don't have anything in their windows or that are vacant. But of course, we'd have to get them to say yes. But I just thought moving, looking forward, maybe that's something we could look at in those empty storefronts.
I think we've talked about that before.
Or just something, because it just looks so nice and fresh and pretty.
Yeah.
His windows always look fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we discussed at some point last year, like having something in the windows for them, like that have, whether it was Town of Prescott or BIA or whatever, something on it.
I don't know if we could kind of maybe look into a price for a banner, and maybe we could even like subsidize if the property owners were interested. Just something to freshen those windows up that are so, I don't know.
I think that's a slippery slope though, because we do have property owners who are putting money into having these window displays done.
Yep.
And for us to spend money on the property owners who are not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like, I completely agree. Yeah, like it's embarrassing that these things are just sitting here empty, but it's a slippery slope is my concern.
I can see that. Just something to think about down the road.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. That's for sure. It'd give definitely, at least you can look at the window and say, oh, look at that. Versus, oh, look at that. Yeah, we can even revisit that one next meeting if we would like. Any other thoughts on this topic? Beautification? Nothing? All right. Shall we move along? 6.3, associate membership or something. Well, basically BIA expansion. Let's kind of maybe clear that one up a little bit more. We know we want to do it. We don't know how to go about doing it. So I don't know if anyone from town could give us a suggestion on where we would start.
So I'm gonna have two separate concepts and conversations. The first one is the concept of an associate membership, and I think you can offer that at any time. But I don't think it is precluded in the bylaw and doesn't require an expansion of the borders. So an associate membership, you could decide either it's a flat rate, or if you want to be at the exact same rate as the businesses, you would take the commercial amount that they have on their property and then apply the BIA rate to it, and that would develop the associate membership fee. So that way they clearly know exactly how much it's going to cost them. They have the opportunity to join the BIA as an associate membership. We don't have to do anything with borders and that sort of thing, and probably a very straightforward process. And so, absolutely, I think that's just a matter of making that decision, getting it approved by council, and then start marketing it to people that would be interested. That's one way. So that's option A. Option B is actually changing the borders of the BIA. That's governed by the bylaw as well as the municipal act. It's a very long process, and basically not only the current members of the BIA have to vote, but then anywhere that you're expanding to has to vote. And so that potentially, it's at least 6 to 12 months. And it's a very formal process. We can come back with kind of exactly how the bylaw stipulates that and what the municipal act says for that process. And it in other areas it can be contentious when you start to move out of that normal district or what people are used to. So the associate membership in some cases provides that optionality. And then if you're seeing that a lot of businesses in that area are really excited about it and are joining from an associate membership, then at least it gives you the indication that if you're expanding the border, that you're going to have some positive feedback from it. So, I think those are obviously your two choices. You can always go down the associate path first, see what kind of feedback you're getting, and also, this is kind of a difficult time right now for a lot of businesses. So adding one more cost is going to be something that we have to be obviously very cognizant of, and just understand that the climate that we're in right now is going to be a difficult one. And so that's really what my thoughts are, and I'm more than happy to kind of come back.
Yeah, it's a topic I know we've discussed on several occasions, and of course the timing in the past year plus has not been great, obviously, to do it. Dana, do you have any input on the two suggestions from Matthew?
Well, I think I would definitely recommend the associate membership. I think there's some really good rationale for approaching some of the adjacent businesses for that membership, and to take on a boundary expansion again with pandemic and businesses trying to recover. I think you would have to come in with a pretty big, you've got to have the value proposition to go with it, right? And the first question from business is going to be, okay, so what does my associate membership buy me? Or what does this additional levy get me if you did decide to go the boundary expansion route? And I just think it's critically important as you're looking that it's more, I understand you're trying to generate and grow your budget ultimately, but you also have to service those businesses that you're taking under that umbrella. And I think you would get a lot more support from businesses if you approached it from the associate membership side, but still knowing that you've got to bring that value to them for their membership dollar.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think basically the differences I kind of gather from the two is if you go associate membership, you're kind of giving a business a choice, where if we were to expand the area, you kind of don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And I don't think I would want to personally force any business to spend money they don't want to. That's just my viewpoint. But
And then we have to come up with a, like, what's in it for me with the associate membership? How are we going to add value to them?
yeah. And it sucks because the last year's been a whole, we kind of with our hands tied behind our back sort of thing, because there's stuff that we probably would have loved to have done in the past year and haven't been able to. And we're still kind of tied up right now. I know there's some things changing in town, which hopefully will change how some of these things are going to be dealt with in the future, but such like events and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm just kind of, anyone else got a thought on this one? Tracy?
Well, one of the things that I was thinking, as far as the associate membership goes, is that are we then competing with a body like the chamber? Do you know what I mean? With something like that, like, are we overlapping and maybe offering the same thing that the chamber's already providing for them? I don't know. What are your thoughts, Belinda, on that?
Well, the chamber is offering different things as well. And I think this is where we have to make sure that our branding is very clear. And that's why it's important that we're being collaborative. Like, there are things that a chamber membership can offer in terms of group insurance for your employees and that kind of thing that the BIA can't offer. Right? So we have to make sure that our businesses understand what the differences between the BIA and the chamber are and what the similarities are. So I think I agree that like an associate membership at this point in time would probably be better, because I think we really need to sit down. Like, we had started the process back before the pandemic in terms of really defining what the chamber can offer and what the BIA can offer and how we can work together. And with everything that happened, we really didn't get to that end state. So I think we need to be able to really define what each of us brings to the table and be able to clearly articulate that to the individuals or the companies that we're dealing with, and make sure that they understand that and see the value, because if there's no value, it's just not going to happen. So the value in terms of the BIA and the value in terms of the chamber, because there's a lot of marketing that's going to be happening with the BIA that the chamber can't offer, but there are things that the chamber can offer. Does that kind of make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of thinking too about the accommodation places that are, outside of town, and, what kind of value that we could give them. Because I think those would be prime associate members for sure, as part of a whole package of, stay here, play here, live here kind of thing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. And once the BIA has a location where people can actually go and see what's going on, there's added value right there. We're actually advertising for you as a member.
I think it's definitely something to think about after COVID. I'm not so sure it's something that could work this year, but it's definitely something for us to think about in 2022 for sure.
Agreed.
Is it something though we could at least start seeing if there is an interest from businesses outside the BIA? We don't have to make anything official, but we can at least start gauging the interest. Is that something that we could possibly do?
Well, I'm just kind of thinking, like, I know when Justin gets going as well, like that's going to be bringing some added value. And once people see that added value that's going on,
Yes.
then I think it's time to gauge interest. I think it would be premature right now to gauge interest myself, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. At
I would
this
agree.
point, they're just like, what can you guys do for us? What can you do for us? You know, I'm trying, you know, like just again, you know, I'm in business banking. So a lot of my customers are like, I can't make payroll.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if we're going out to them and asking them for an additional amount of money, we need to be able to show them what that added value is, because they're going through horrible, horrible times right now.
Yeah. So the consensus is we want to do it, but we just want to hold up until things kind of normalize a little bit.
Yeah, I think the timing is not right.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And that's why we revisit the topic. Alrighty. So if we want to revisit it, what would everybody think would be a good time to consider revisiting? I know we could say when COVID is over. Unfortunately, we don't know when that is, but
Well, we could even just put it on our plan for 2022. You know,
Yeah.
January.
Yeah, things aren't changing anytime soon, unfortunately.
no. You just ruined my dream.
Oh no, I'm a dream crasher. I'm so sorry.
Crushed my whole
I feel so bad.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, no, I don't have any problem revisiting this. Another point. It's just one of those things that keeps coming up, and it's good to keep revisiting, even if we don't do it. That we know it's there and we want to deal with it.
Well,
So-
we just have to think of perception.
Yeah, and then this is what's kept
Right.
up. The same question keeps coming up: is do we really want to ask anybody for money right now?
Exactly. Well, and the
you
chamber's
feel-
going through the same thing, right?
But no, it's just a matter of, and it helps too with 2 new members on here too, because you get a viewpoint, and especially with Belinda's viewpoint from the chamber, it definitely helps with a little more insight. So, but no, it's definitely something we can get back to. So we are in agreement. All right. So that being said, we'll move on to 6.4. An AGM. We're a little late getting to one. We should probably do this sooner than later. There's not really much to say about having one. Obviously, it's going to be online. And I'm assuming town doesn't have a problem hosting this on YouTube. The only difference that would be, I guess, this is also public would be invited to this meeting. Well, members in public, yes. So other than that, anybody want to throw a date out there? No, I don't even know. Does anybody recall when we did it last year?
We did it just before the pandemic hit. So I think like early March.
It was literally, wasn't it like the week before?
Like, yeah, like I think we had it and then like everything shut down like a day or two afterwards. Yeah.
You could aim for May 31st. It's a unique Monday because it's the 5th Monday of the month, and therefore there's no council meeting. And so just a thought.
And what will we need to do to prepare for it?
I have to say stuff.
Well, and you also, again, we just finished our gala. You have to figure out what do you want to present? What do you want to charge? Do you not want to charge? Who do you want to come? What is the focus? What do you want this event to tell people?
Well,
So
basically,
BIA meetings are, they don't charge, Belinda, because I think because it is a committee of the town, I believe, like there's generally
Okay.
not a
Okay.
fee associated with it, and there's some
Okay.
legislated requirements for the AGM, like you generally have to bring forth your minutes from the previous AGM, financial report. It's generally just more of a formality, and then in the past they've brought in presenters. For example, last year the BIA brought in the Shakespeare Festival. We had
Yes.
town staff gave a presentation. Bonnie Kugler with the food bank and chamber gave a presentation.
Yep.
And then Joe Martell
diver.
spoke on behalf of the journal. I think they've generally featured a business in the past. And then there was a
scuba diver
financial
guys.
report and annual report.
yeah. Yeah, I remember last meeting, I basically kind of recapped the previous year, things we've done, hit a few things where we were going. Yeah, a few presenters, and as Dana said, our financials, because the members do have to see it and we do have to approve it. And then our budget as well. They have to see that as well. I think that was about it though, really. If I can recall. But yeah, I don't have an issue with May 31st if everybody else is good with that. It's a Monday. I'm assuming nobody's going on a vacation. But just from myself, I will probably ask for a little assistance. Probably from town and Justin, if that's a possibility. I know Justin's kind of getting involved, but I can do online meetings in this format, but getting in, if we need to do, I don't know if we need to get into PowerPoint stuff or things like that, but it probably won't hurt. It'll be a slightly different meeting than usual, I guess, because I've never done one online. So as far as that goes, but I don't think it'll be much different than this. But if that works for everybody, we'll go with that. I don't think we didn't need a motion for that, did we?
Yeah, you probably should have a motion if you're setting dates and that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, that's correct. Anybody care to make motion? For the
I
AGM?
can make the motion. A motion that the BIA host their AGM remotely on Monday, May 31st at 6 p.m. I guess, would that be a good time to start it?
I'm easy. It could be later, maybe. I don't know if because members of the public want to be in. It doesn't matter to me though.
It was 6 p.m. last year, which started with networking, and then the official greetings from the MP and mayor began at 6:30.
So we're not really going to have any networking though this time, I would think, right?
Well, just going from our recent meeting at the chamber, we thought it was going to be really short, and things went a little bit longer. So
I'd build in at least 15 minutes just for stragglers who may join late, so you can actually kick it off when you want.
Yeah, right.
you know, people wanted to connect.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. Did you want to try again, Karen?
So I make the motion that the BIA host the AGM remotely on Monday, May 31st. And sorry, I didn't get the time. Did we say like meet and greet at 6 and then meeting to start at 6:30?
Maybe even 6:15.
6:15. Okay.
That's a whole lot of online. Nothing for half an hour, so.
Okay.
I find conversations are a little, just normal conversations are a little reluctant to happen on.
Yes.
So.
Okay, so 6:15 on Monday, May 31st.
Perfect. Anybody care to second?
I will.
Oh,
Jeannie.
seconded by Jeannie. All in favor?
Aye.
I
Motion is carried. I feel like that's been hovering over me for a while. That I haven't planned it, and yeah, good. I feel happy that's dealt with. Alrighty, on to 6.5, digital Main Street update. I'm going to say / presentation because I know we were supposed to throw Justin under the bus and let him have time to do a presentation. So I will turn this section over to you, Justin.
Thanks, Kevin. If I could just share my screen. Oh, I can. Now, a number of you will have seen a variation of this previously, but it is focused directly on the BIA area at this time. So can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
yes.
So as you know, the Digital Main Street program in our area was a partnership between Prescott, Augusta, and Edwardsburg Cardinal, as well as the Prescott BIA. These numbers focus directly on the BIA area. Previous presentations have been the entire town when we presented to council and the entirety of South Grenville when we did the chamber event a couple weeks ago. But there were three main parts of the Digital Main Street program. The first that was focused really on the BIA areas was the digital transformation grant. Businesses had to be small businesses that were zoned inside the BIA area to qualify for the grant. Therefore, that was the program that really impacted the BIA area the most. There were a total of 13 downtown Prescott BIA applications to the $2,500 digital transformation grant, and all 13 of those grant applications were approved. So there were a number of businesses throughout the downtown. A couple of you are on this call, on this meeting, who were able to take advantage of that to do some digital work for their business. It could have been websites, it could have been new marketing materials, and really improve their presence so that they would have a greater opportunity to generate revenue in things like the current lockdown. On top of that, because those requirements for the grant were so restrictive, there was also a separate Town of Prescott sponsored DTG for businesses that were broadly eligible for those criteria, but because of, let's say, zoning or a certain other piece of criteria, were unable to access the OBIAA grant. So there were two applications in the BIA area for the Town of Prescott grant, and both of those were approved as well. The second stream of the Digital Main Street program was the Future Proof program. Now, this was managed by Launch Lab from Kingston. Businesses that applied were assigned a 5-person transformation team. This transformation team would have individuals that specialized in marketing, web development, user interfaces, copywriting, and they'd be assigned directly to work with that business for a 4 to 6 week period where they would go over a comprehensive marketing and branding strategy for digital marketing to try to improve their digital presence and, again, allow them to create additional revenue in situations like this and moving forward. In Prescott, one of the pilot participants was actually Katarina's Coffee Shop. I'll talk about them in a little more detail a little bit later, but they were one of the pilot participants. We had one of the initial teams, and then after that, we had a number of other participants, 3 in downtown, 2 of which just completed Water Girl and Cuts and Curls, as well as dental hygiene on location. And this left businesses, I think, with a really comprehensive framework, as well as some hands-on work to improve their digital presence. The third program was Shop Here. What this allowed a business to do was create an e-commerce website by being assigned a e-commerce coordinator from Digital Main Street, who helped them build out and then train them on the website design. This was probably the least restrictive of the Digital Main Street programs. Essentially, any small business, whether they were home-based, as long as they're a registered business, they were eligible for this program. So in the broader area, we saw quite a few more businesses than in some of the other programs be able to take advantage of this. But there was a good cross-section in the BIA area, whether it was more home-based type businesses that were co-located with some traditional Main Street businesses, or whether it was Main Street businesses, retailers, as well as service industries, service businesses, and hospitality businesses were able to get that free e-commerce platform built, so they'll be able to sell online in the future, take orders online, take reservations online, which should help them deal with situations that arise, hopefully not like this again, but the sorts of interruptions that can really hurt a business. So as I mentioned, I want to look at a couple specific success stories, businesses that were able to use a large, basically the full complement of the Digital Main Street programming. Catarina's, as I mentioned, was a future-proof pilot participant, and they developed a comprehensive branding and social media strategy with that transformation team, which includes their new logo and branding as well, which helped them as they moved into their year-round operations, sort of consolidate their brand. They utilized the Shop Here program to create their e-commerce platform. You can now go online and order your drinks and food ahead of time at Catarina's. And they helped it using the DTG funding and some discussions with us. They were able to take that e-commerce platform and integrate it into their inventory management and ordering systems, so that they'd be integrated and be able to optimize their use of those systems, as well as receiving some social media and design training through their grant funding as well. The second success story from downtown Prescott is Old Magic Shop. Sherry at Old Magic Shop was able to use DTG funding to develop an online teaching and event hosting platform. She's going to be able to host her seminars, webinars, and groups through that platform that she developed with a designer. She used Shop Here to activate her new e-commerce platform. She's taking orders online. I believe in her case, she was receiving orders online within days of having that site set up. She was able to increase her digital marketing efforts using parts of that grant funding. And she also has started a series of streamed Facebook Live events, which she's using as a form of content marketing to pull people into her Facebook group and to pull people into her sales funnel. So as we were going through this program, we wanted to make sure that as many businesses as possible were able to take advantage of that. Or wanted to take advantage of that. So what we used were some content marketing tools ourselves to try to encourage businesses to take part. Amongst those were videos recorded by local small businesses that took advantage of the grant early to encourage other small businesses to apply, so they would know that it was legitimate and easy to complete. And we also use some, over on the left-hand side, you can see some of the ads that we used on Facebook that highlighted the businesses that participated, which in addition to providing a bit of social vouching for the program, also provided an opportunity to market some of the downtown businesses at a time that they were facing challenges. Another thing we've been able to do during the Digital Main Street program was start the Y2 webinars. We called them Y2 webinars because rather than focusing on how to do specific things, we had businesses on to talk about how they used social media and why other businesses should consider using those tools, even if they haven't thought that they might be applicable in the past. Our first webinar included Sherry from Old Magic and Holly Patnode from Dental Hygiene on Location, where they talked about the way that they use Facebook sort of non-traditionally to draw in new customers. We had about 15 attendees to that, and we're able to develop a lot of content for the marketing of the program and for new business resources out of what's come out of that first webinar, and we hope to do some more moving forward. We've also started a podcast where I talk to some of the businesses that have participated in digital maintenance programs. It provides an opportunity to encourage other businesses about the opportunity to utilize these programs to improve their digital operations. It provides an opportunity for the businesses to do a little content marketing themselves. And it really provides everyone involved a chance to highlight the downtown, to highlight the opportunities that exist there. And so far, we've had the 3 podcasts. We have some more lined up, but people are busy, so it takes a little bit to get all that in alignment, but we will have a few more episodes coming soon. And the final sort of piece that will remain when the Digital Main Street program concludes is our business resources page. As I mentioned, we were able to use some of the content from the webinar series and the podcast to create these little tidbit videos that are Y2 videos about using various digital technologies inside your business. Why to access these programs, why to be personal when you're interacting on Facebook. Also started to put together some of the resources that we've developed over this period all in one space. So there's more of a one-stop shop for businesses that we can direct them to, whether it's business planning and marketing planning, traditional documents, one page, complete documents, links to a variety of free webinar services, business resources, community futures, small business enterprise center, as well as some of the more in-depth videos that Digital Main Street themselves have developed. So we're putting those all in one place so that there is a location that, rather than telling a business, well, have you thought about a business plan? Have you thought about using e-commerce? Go to Google and find out. We have all this in one place so that they can go and find that information as quickly and easily as possible. So that concludes my presentation. I don't know if anyone would have any questions on that.
Anybody got a question?
Not a question, but I think that's fantastic, the work that you've done with everyone and the success stories. And I think it's really fantastic what you've done.
Thank you.
I was going to say perhaps that's something that we should think about as to have one of the participants be a presenter maybe at our AGM.
AGM, yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and even Justin to do that presentation at our AGM would be fantastic.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too, actually.
Yeah, I was actually going to suggest maybe you want to add it to the next agenda so you can confirm the details who you actually want to invite to speak at the AGM, because you didn't really get a chance to do that tonight. But that was definitely something I was going to suggest. If you wanted Justin to give a updated presentation, I'm sure he'll have some more business stats to present. And we're hearing rumblings, hopefully, that they are going to be announcing another round of squad member funding as well as the DTG grant, hopefully in June, so that it'll just kind of be a seamless transition from this program to the next. So we're having some internal conversations just about that squad member program, and thought that there would be some real value in applying for another squad member to provide businesses with some real hands-on social media, digital marketing assistance, because that's one of the areas that Justin really didn't have a chance to kind of dive into, because he had so many businesses working in the program. And that's a key area that he identified businesses could really use some more assistance with, and I think would really help them to get the full benefit out of these programs that are going to be offered, made available again. So that's kind of just what we're looking at internally. Hopefully, if that's also endorsed by the BIA, that would be fantastic, but we'll have nothing official yet. So hopefully we'll have something more official at the next meeting.
I don't know if I've ever heard this question asked. Is a business allowed to apply to this program more than once? or is this one time only?
We had just this conversation this week, Justin?
I mean, if you mean specifically the grant, that will be dependent on whatever parameters they put on it for the next round.
Mhm.
Like that'll be a digital Main Street program decision. If, for example, a business that received a grant wanted to take part in the Future Proof program, they very much could, and that's staying open until June 30th as it stands right now.
Yeah. Yeah, because I just did the grant thing, and I didn't get really into any other part of it. But well, plus I've been kind of a unique business for online sales and website. But yeah, no, but I'm starting to see other options. Sherry's actually mentioned to me she's going to come give me a hand doing the live Facebook thing. That's something I never even thought of until I saw it done, and I'm like, wow. And she was telling me, she says it's amazing. She actually gets sales while doing it, which is I would have never have thought. So that I can do. So that's okay, just for future thought.
We're hoping that if businesses did tap into the first one, if they actually had a plan to kind of augment, build on what they've done, that they might be accepted for funding under that grant. But again, nothing's been confirmed, but we're hopeful it's not just going to be limited to new businesses.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Good to know. Let us know. So that sums that up. Thank you very much, Justin.
Yeah.
You did a lot of hard work, by the way, and thank you very much. Next, number 7, our financial report, brought to you by yours truly, Tracy M.
So our expenses to date are $238. So we have a very healthy, budget. We have had the budget reworked as we talked about last meeting. So we now have 3 categories. So the coordinator category, the marketing and promotion, and then the physical improvements. So I think, Matthew, do we have to get that approved by council?
Yeah, so we can take that to council, as well as it'd be great if we presented that at the AGM.
We've already approved it, so
Yeah.
we're good for that. Alrighty. Oh no, we're gonna spend money. We are. Great. Next on to number 8, staff. Anything from staff?
No.
Nothing? Absolutely
Nope.
nothing. Oh, Matthew, do you have a website for that wrap company?
Yes, we do. We can send that out.
Cool. Yeah, I just thought about that. Wanted to have a close look at it just for fun. Okay. Number 9, new business. Anybody got anything on their minds? I see nothing. That brings us to number 10, adjournment. We can all go home. Someone wants to make a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting?
I'll make the motion that we adjourn.
Motion made by Karen, seconded by, looks like Tracy. Perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. That is awesome. Great meeting, guys. Thank you very much. We'll see you very soon.
Okay.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Hi, everyone.